Hello and welcome to my channel. This is another Midnight Matinee. Today we're going to do Willy's Wonderland, and I have a special guest that will give her opinion on the movie as well. Willy's Wonderland stars the always entertaining Nicolas Cage. The general overview of this movie is: a quiet drifter is tricked into a janitorial job at the now condemned Willy's Wonderland. The mundane tasks suddenly become an all-out fight for survival against wave after wave of demonic animatronics. Fists fly, kicks land, titans clash, and only one side will make it out alive. The director said he was going for a Pell Rider meets Killer Clowns from Outer Space vibe, and I have to say he nailed it perfectly. Nicolas Cage plays I don't necessarily know that he's a drifter, but he doesn't belong to this town. He's an out of towner. We don't know who he is. We don't know what he does for a living. There's no backstory on him at all. To a degree, some people who need everything spoon-fed to them might hate that. Personally, I think it's great. You're able to project whatever you want onto this guy. Was he a hitman? Is he a gangster? Was he a race car driver? Who is he? Heck, is he an angel come to fight these demons? There's really, you can project anything you want onto it. Nicolas Cage actually produces this movie because he was intrigued by his character and the plot line from the outgo, and he wanted to protect its simplicity and not allow it to be messed with outside of what he wanted to bring to it. His character is exactly what you would want from an action hero. I actually wrote a story similar to this many years ago. Well, actually not this storyline, but his character. I have always been intrigued by the idea of a slasher flick, which there's hundreds of thousands of out there, coming across a hero who they really didn't want to come across. Like, what happens when your average little serial killer doesn't try to track down some college kids and instead comes across a Vietnam vet? You know, what happens then? And kind of go the anti-horror route. And that's what this movie does. It's not, I would say, particularly scary at any point. It doesn't even have jump scares. But it is intense. It is creepy. And it is a lot of fun. Now with me today is HarleyCrow. And we watched it together. And we'll get her opinion of it.
I'm HarleyCrow. I really liked the movie because, it kind of reminded me of Five Nights at Freddy's. I really thought it was gonna mostly kind of be like that, but it kind of surprised me and made me feel like it was mostly its own thing, like it was the first one idea.
Another thing is a horror film. A lot of horror films, they want to go, instead of for story entertainment or character entertainment, how bloody can we be? How gory can we be? What limits can we push? And I don't care for that. It's one of the reasons I don't do a lot of horror movies, is I don't care for gore. I don't care for violence, and I don't care for bloodiness. I like action, but I don't like violence. And so I don't enjoy most horror movies. And in this, it is going to have a handful of bloody killings. You have Nicolas Cage, who is the main hero. The other protagonist is Emily Tosta. Hope I've said her name right. After that, you don't really have anybody else. And of course, if you're going to have a horror movie, you got to have a body count. That just comes with the territory. So once he gets locked inside this building, and Emily she collects some friends, really just empty vessels to feed the machines and the movie. and raise the body count. And I don't mean to be mean. None of their performances are bad necessarily, but none of them are exceptional. None of them stand out. You know why they're there. And a lot of them even kind of switch their personalities at moments to where one character is vehemently against going inside this building for any reason, even to save his friends. And then once he's inside, he seems to forget that he didn't want to be in there. But anyway, they go inside, and that's where your body count comes from. And one of the things I enjoyed was when Nicolas Cage's character fights these machines, there's a high level of visceralness, but instead of blood, you get oil. And it's fantastic. It's a great enjoyment. Now, for a younger viewer, and I'm not suggesting that anybody as young as HarleyCrow here watched the movie necessarily, but still, she did. She watched this with me, and let's get a younger person's opinion. HarleyCrow, what did you think about the violent content, blood and gore and such?
It honestly wasn't actually that gory. It was actually pretty good to me, my opinion. And yeah, that's kind of my thing.
And nobody, we're new to this channel, and you're new to this channel, so you might not know, but a little background on HarleyCrow. She does not like violence either. Even action movies. I've tried to show her a few here or there, and some of them she enjoys, and some of them it's too much for her, which I think is a great thing. So when she tells you that she didn't think it went too far to where she couldn't enjoy the movie, either she's getting to be desensitized, which I hope isn't the case, or that tells you that this really kind of reins itself in and allows it to be more enjoyable to a wider audience. And again, I want to just address the acting. Nicolas Cage is in full Cage mode. What we know and what we love about him, he is fully in. This is one of his most enjoyable performances in quite some time. I'm not the biggest Nicolas Cage fan, and to a small degree it seemed like he was channeling his inner Stallone or Clint Eastwood, which is not a bad thing. And yet it also had that typical Cage lunacy that does make him so enjoyable to watch. There is the sheriff. I don't know this actress's name. I've seen her before. She did a solid job. Although, and I don't want to give any spoilers to this away, but there are decisions made in this movie that don't make a lot of sense. And there's a lot of coincidences, including, and I don't believe this is a spoiler because it happens right at the beginning of the movie. As soon as you sit down and put it in, this happens. It's coincidental that this girl, Emily, decides to destroy Willy's Wonderland at the same time that the hero arrives and is trapped inside, because it's condemned because these animatronics have been killing people a la Five Nights at Freddy's for quite some time. And it's just like, why didn't you try to burn it down last week, last month, 2 years ago? Why today? And that's the kind of logic gaps that come with most any movie. Either you're forgiving of it or you're not. And once again, the other actors, nobody did what I would call a terrible job, but nobody really stood out. Although Emily herself did do a fine job as the second protagonist to Nicolas Cage. HarleyCrow, what did you think of the acting and performances?
Well, Nicolas Cage did a great job. And I haven't really seen much of his movies, but it was really great. I really enjoyed his acting. The animatronics were good too. Yeah, and Nicolas Cage was mostly a strong silent hero. Oh frick, that was too. So I was just saying, Nicolas Cage was mostly a strong silent hero. And the animatronics, they did really good with acting 100% like robots and stuff. It was great.
Yeah, I have to second that. I read a little bit of trivia. There wasn't a lot to read. I didn't see any behind the scenes, so I don't know how much they were animatronics and how much they were people in suits. But either way, these things were really creepy. Again, and I'm not saying it because I'm desensitized. It wasn't very scary, but I didn't want scary. I wanted exactly what this movie gave. Again, it's not a 10 out of 10. It's not 100%. This is a cheesy movie, but you know that going in. It is what you think it is, more than likely, and it is a lot of fun. The animatronics are plenty creepy. Another leap in logic is you have to ask yourself why he doesn't just destroy all of them at once, but then that would kind of end the movie too quick. I can't personally speak highly enough of this movie. If you like horror, if you like Nicolas Cage, if you like lunacy, then this movie is absolutely for you, and I highly recommend it. HarleyCrow, did you have any closing thoughts?
Well, I give it a 10 out of 10, because the acting, the graphics, the backgrounds, everything, all the decorations were amazing, even including the weird but awesome parts of the movie.
All right, so I give it a little bit less than that, but it's truly an enjoyable film. So thank you, HarleyCrow, for watching a movie with me and coming on my channel. And that's rounds up for Midnight Matinee. I hope you enjoyed it. As with all of my rankings, this review is ironclad. It is inarguable, and I expect nothing but collective head nods of sycophantic agreement in the comments. Thank you and have a great day.